Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Right Man in the Wrong Place. My name is Luke Tatum. I react to music. Today, I am not going to react to music. I'm going to talk about some video games. So, I did a community poll, and every single person that voted said that yes, they would be interested in me talking about games that I am playing. Now, that was a poll. This is the actual video. We'll see if anyone actually decides to watch it, but I decided I would give it a shot. So, the first thing I'm going to say before I get into a particular game is just that I am very scatterbrained. I play a lot of different games. Sometimes I'll play one for 15 minutes, go, whatever, and move back to something else. I've been playing on my Switch too. I've been playing on my PC. I'm just all over the place. Some stuff I'm totally committed to for months at a time, and some stuff I just barely play at all. So to prove that point, I just thought I would show you my Steam library for just a moment. This is my work PC, and I basically never use it for games at all, but I do keep a few things installed just in case I need to space out for a second. So you can see I've been playing Star Wars: The Old Republic. I've actually been playing that a lot. I play that a little bit every day almost. No Man's Sky just had an amazing update, which is the Voyagers update. I've been checking that out. I've been trying to make some progress through Expedition 33. Path of Exile 2 has new content today, and I am super excited to check that out. Ghost of Tsushima, I'm still not done with that. Death Stranding, Triangle Strategy, Warframe. I'm like nowhere in Warframe. Red Dead Redemption 2, that's a game I play for 5 minutes. Sea of Stars, Zero Ranger, Enshrouded, Cyberpunk, etc., etc., etc. Right, some of these are games I've played before. Some of them are games that I have, started multiple times and never made progress on. Cough, cough, Elden Ring. And, there's a lot of reasons for all of those. But so that's just a quick overview since my first gaming video. Let's talk about that for a second. But today I think I want to talk about SWTOR. So Star Wars: The Old Republic. And the reason I want to talk about that is because new games are expensive. Gaming is an expensive hobby. Your time is worth more than your money, right? In almost every case, you need to economize your time. You need to spend time doing something that brings you joy and that fits with your lifestyle. If you don't have a lot of immediate family commitments, if you don't have a special needs child like I do and things like that, then maybe Elden Ring is a great game for you, right? Or the Dark Souls games or what have you. I know y'all have told me, multiple people have told me, yes, you actually can pause Dark Souls and Elden Ring and all that. You just have to do this weird thing where you go into this menu and then this other menu and blah, 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 and that doesn't work for me. Okay, I did it. It's obnoxious, and I'm not going to do that. So I just have a very low tolerance for that kind of thing. So, that's not a game that I play all the time. Now, Star Wars: The Old Republic is an MMO. And MMOs are always online, obviously. And so, how is that any different? Well, it's real easy to just walk off to somewhere that's safe or to teleport to somewhere that's safe. Yeah, you're sometimes in a combat and you can't immediately quit. But, at the end of the day, if my character, dies in a fight, oh well. Most of the time you can respawn right where you are. And so it's just great for me. It's very low stress. It's not a difficult game. But, I thought I would bring this up because it's a 14-year-old game, and this is 2025. It's almost fall 2025. And I did not play it right when it launched. I did not play it consistently since launch. I mean, I guess I've already revealed my playtime and stuff. So I'm at 383 hours on the Steam client, and I played it some before it was on Steam. But it's just a great experience for me. And the reason why is because it's tons and tons and tons and tons of story, right? I am a story game guy. I've never been a Halo guy. I've never been a Call of Duty guy. I've never played Battlefield online. I just don't do that. the reason that I like the MMO is for the exploration and the story. You know, I played WoW, uh, 1,200 hours, 1,300 hours, something like that, when I was in junior high, high school, I guess, is about when that was. And, you know, yeah, it was okay. I can get online and I can chat with my friends, people I already knew in person. I was never a part of a big high demand guild. I was in school. I didn't care about raids. I wasn't going to do Molten Core and sit around and wait for 11 hours for everybody to show up. You know, the 39 other people that have to show up for some of those in-game raids. Like, I never did that, not even one time. No interest. None. And the reason is, again, back to the time value thing. Like, I could just do something else. You know, I'm not playing a game if I'm hanging out in a capital city waiting on everybody else in the guild to show up and chatting about how we're bored and just doing, you know, slash dance and goofing off. Like, there is some entertainment value in things like that sometimes. Okay, I'm not judging people who play MMOs. Okay. But I really like the idea of a persistent, compelling, story-driven, you know, narrative universe. Star Wars is obviously a huge universe already, but I don't like the idea of shaping your real life around your virtual character's life, you know, and scheduling your life around your raids and things like that. And so, you know, I'm sure WoW has changed a lot since those days. I quit right around when Burning Crusade came out. Like, I didn't even hit level 70 when that happened. It's like, well, I'm kind of done with this, you know, and I just stopped. And I've never gone back. And I swore I would never go back too, because it was the nature of it is antithetical to how I want to play games. And for a long, long time, I have always resisted doing videos like this, by the way, because I don't want to monetize my very valuable hobby. You know, I like to play games. I am not going to start streaming on Twitch or any other platform. I'm not going to do it. Don't ask. I mean, you can ask if you want, but I'm going to say no. I'm not going to do it. And the reason I'm not going to do it is because when I play a game, I want to have fun. It's kind of the same thing with an MMO and the expectations and the social pressure and the, well, I can't go out tonight because I got a raid. You know, that's the line. I won't cross the line. Okay? And so Star Wars The Old Republic has, I don't know if it still does, but it at one point had the record, the Guinness Book of World Records record for the most lines of recorded dialogue in something, maybe in video games or maybe in anything. I think at launch it was like 250,000 lines of recorded dialogue, and there's way, way, way more than that now, right? So if you've never played the game, if you're like, man, I wish Luke would talk about something newer and more interesting, why the heck is he talking about this old game? You know, if you're watching this at all, okay? The reason that I love this so much, I mean, my name is Luke, okay? Like, I have a Star Wars inspired life anyway, but you know, the amount of story content that there is, what you basically have, and what you had since the very beginning, was 8 different classes that you could choose. You know, there's 2 Jedi classes, 2 Sith classes, and then there's the kind of technical classes, like a trooper, you know, like it's not a clone trooper because it's a prequel to the movies and stuff before the clone army. But trooper, bounty hunter, smuggler, and oh my gosh, Imperial agent, like a secret agent type character. And so you've got these 8 classes, and each one of those classes has an entire story. Like, if you're just rushing it and you don't do anything else, it's at least 20 or 30 hours or so of content. And again, I'm not playing the MMO to speedrun everything. I'm playing it to have a nice, relaxing, like, wind down experience after my work day, you know? And so there's 8 of those. And every single one of those has light side things that you can do and dark side things you can do, right? You get to make those decisions. You can hide whether or not you'll get light or dark side points in the menu, or you can have it shown. There's lots of customizability and things like that. If you hear the crows, there's a murder of crows going nuts right outside my window. Anyway, and so that's awesome. But then there's also kind of internal factions where it's not like light side points, dark side points. There's Imperial intelligence. Do you kind of favor that? Are you trying to be an independent entity? It doesn't always pan out in a really rewarding way if you want to like ally with the Jedi Council or not, or if you support the war effort in the Republic or not, those kind of things. It's not always perfectly done, but it's there, right? And you get to make decisions, and those decisions carry on over time, and it's awesome. It's like it's kind of like what Octopath Traveler was supposed to be in a way, because all 8 of those characters in Octopath are supposed to come together, and they have a joint story, that moves things forward, and it's supposed to be really interesting. And I got bored of that game and never finished it. Back to my bouncing around game to game kind of thing. But the thing about the SWTOR stories is that they all actually happen. And so when you get past the original plot, the original 8 class stories, the things that occurred, say, in the Imperial Agent story, happened even if you're playing a Jedi Knight. And so the Jedi Knight won't know about all the details of that, but they'll make a mention to something. And if you've played the other story, you'll kind of know what's going on, right? And so the plot that moves forward from that point is all of the main class stories having occurred. And that's really cool. They pulled it off pretty dang well. And then you've got massive expansions to the story, and I haven't even done everything, right? It's, I don't know, I probably have 500 hours or so in this game, including the time before the expansions. And I've done 4 of the 8 class stories. And I've done, maybe half, it's hard for me to estimate, but maybe half of the post-game content on one of the characters, so like in-game stuff. And that is just awesome, because you can go all the way up to level 80. You can do all 8 class stories. You can do almost everything in this game for free. And then if you subscribe for 1 month, which I think is $15, then you unlock every bit of story that is out, and that stays unlocked even if you stop subscribing, right? So $15, right? I mean, that's pretty awesome. If KOTOR 2 launched tomorrow and it was $15, I'd buy it in a heartbeat, right? There's this whole thing. It's Knights of the Fallen Empire, and then there's like 2 more things, Knights of the something else, and then I don't remember. I'm not good at remembering the names. There's this whole ongoing thing. It's like a whole single-player game, like a whole KOTOR 2, KOTOR 1 type game, almost, inside of this permanent MMO thing with a whole new set of companions, all this stuff. I haven't even talked about companions. And it's just in the game. It's just there, right? And it's $15 because you subscribe for 1 month. Or you could buy them individually, I think, with cartel coins and the market, the paid market for stuff. But mostly the market is just things you can easily unlock by subscribing for 1 month. Or, there's a couple of things you might want to get, and then maybe some cosmetics, right? And that is the correct approach for monetizing a game like this, in my view. I don't want to be a subscriber. At some point, I intend to cancel my subscription again. But you get to do almost everything you would want to do until you're like super hardcore in-game content type stuff for free. Okay? Final Fantasy XIV, I think, did a thing like this. I've played that game a little bit. And you can pretty much get all the way to the end for free. And then if you want to keep playing, you're that into it, subscribe. I think that's a pretty reasonable model, and it keeps your subscriber base pretty motivated, hardcore players. And I mean, so far it's worked, right? 14 years, the game is still here. But so each class story, again, right? You get a ship, You get to go around the galaxy. There's like 36 planets or something like that, 30-something planets that you can go to. Each of them have tons of little quests and things to do. There's crafting and all the usual stuff. I actually like the crafting system pretty well out of the MMOs that I've played. And every class story has 5 different companions that you meet. Some of them are pretty boring and one-dimensional, okay? But some of them are pretty interesting. And there's, basic romance stuff in there and all kinds of stuff. It's like your standard BioWare RPG, right? Because it's a BioWare MMO RPG. But this is before BioWare was just absolutely horrible at absolutely everything. They were still writing some pretty cool stories, and set in the Star Wars universe. It's a really, really awesome experience in my book. Okay, I know people hate this game. Some people do. It's totally fine. But, I have a now max level Sith Warrior and a max level Jedi Knight, and I'm working on, the other classes. I have some in the 50s, and then I've got characters for the other classes that are in the 20s. And so I'm loving it. Even Jedi Consular, which everyone says is the weakest of the plots, was still pretty interesting to me. And so I just think it's so cool. You're always learning something new about the lore and all that. So if you're a very lore-driven player, if you're the type of person who liked Lord of the Rings Online or something, for example, this actually could be a lot of fun for you. Now, it's 14 years in. You probably already tried it if you're going to. But I love it. And it's a feel-good game. It's something that I just kind of can do to unwind. I think I've already said this. But it's a nice, relaxing way to play. Because I'm not pressured to play multiplayer. And, there is a lot. You can do virtually everything single player, solo. The game's not particularly hard. It doesn't really have to be. KOTOR isn't really very hard. Okay, KOTOR 2 isn't really very hard either. It could be, you could turn the difficulty up, but similarly, the things called flashpoints, which are like little 20, 30-minute group content that you can play solo, because you get like an assist bot that goes with you, plus your companion. Those things have 3 difficulties. And then there's larger kind of raid type content if you want to do it. It's not necessary, but it's there. And, I think those are like 1 to 2 hours or something like that. I've never done one. And I don't feel that I need to. There's, one I'd like to check out at some point. If everything lines up, I have a whole bunch of time to kill, great. But, I'm in a massive guild, one of the biggest guilds on the server I play on, which is Starforge. And, the Discord is not mandatory. I don't have, it's not on my Discord list. I don't use it. I don't even launch Discord almost every day, right? And so if I want it, it's there. If I don't, it's fine. I get benefits for being in the guild. I also contribute to the guild just for being a member of it. And I just occasionally chat in the group chat. And that's it. That is it, right? So what is the point of this video? Well, I just chose this game because it's the very top one on my Steam list over here. And I thought I would talk about my experience with that. I'm not going to show you a bunch of footage of me playing this. I'm not going to put that over this recording and show you me not being very good at this game or anything. Because I don't care. And I walk away from the keyboard and go get a snack. I walk to the kitchen and eat some cheese, right? Just in the middle of doing stuff because I don't care. And I'm not going to monetize my hobby like that. I'll sit here when I have a chance and I'll record a video like this if it's something y'all enjoy watching. But yeah, again, I'm just repeating myself. What else to say about SWTOR? Soundtrack's amazing. It's very sometimes it's very classic Star Wars, and there is even stuff from some of the movies sometimes. But they totally nail it. All the songs that aren't John Williams pieces are totally amazing. A lot of them are very atmospheric, and they really lend to this hugely grand scale of the world, which I really like. The art style, I actually really like. A lot of people didn't when the game came out. But the other thing too, if you say maybe played this 10 years ago, is they've been updating the look of the game a bit. And so there should be a 64-bit client at some point, maybe the end of this year, I would hope. I'm not plugged into everything, but maybe next year, there'll be a 64-bit client. The graphics have been improved on several of the worlds. They're adding more, colors and like facial options and things for character creation. Like they're actually supporting the game. And eventually there'll be more story content. From what I understand, the main story is not finished. And so hopefully that'll be something that's on the way at some point. I believe the devs have talked about that. But even in the state that it's in, like there's just a lot of really fun experiences to be had for free. And the community is very supportive. It's not difficult to find an excellent guild. It's not difficult to type in the chat, hey, well, how the heck do I do this? And have somebody answer you. It's not a dead MMO. I don't know how many people are playing it, but there's always people online when I log in. It's just kind of cool. I've never had any desire to go back to WoW. I've played that Age of Conan thing, whatever that was called. The Conan MMO, that was short-lived. Warframe is whatever. I don't know what the heck is going on with that game. But I've tried a bunch of MMOs over the years. Ion. Shoot, I'm going to totally blank on the list of them now. But I've tried several games. Like I say, I played Final Fantasy 14 briefly. I think I still have that installed on the other computer. Several things. And, they're fine. But for some reason, some like hard to divine, nebulous kind of reason, there's just this like, you know what? SWTOR is really actually a lot of fun. It's actually a very enjoyable, casual game that I can treat like a single-player experience whenever I want to, which is most of the time. And I keep coming back to it. I've reinstalled it and I've uninstalled it over and over and over throughout the years. And here we are. And I'm playing it on a regular basis. I think I've been subscribed the last 3 months, I recently had a friend of mine start playing it. And he's got 60-something hours in it. And he's enjoying it, right? So how cool is that? The only other game I can think of like this is Phantasy Star Online, which the official servers have been down forever. But Phantasy Star Online episodes 1 and 2, or Blue Burst if you're on PC, or whatever. I guess it was just called Phantasy Star Online on the Dreamcast. That game, GameCube, Dreamcast era. There's private servers out there. Great community, very helpful, super fun to play. It's a little bit just nostalgia for that one. But SWTOR is not just nostalgia for me. I'm not nostalgic for this gameplay. It's kind of slow. I'm not nostalgic for what the game is. I just want to see what else happens. I want to continue to explore the story. The thing that I love about story games, like well-done story games, some decently written story, is that you have this constant ability to get into moral situations and make ethical and moral like judgments. And was this presented well? Does this teach me anything? Is this like a compelling story or not? Sometimes it totally falls flat. But enough of the time, it's like, that's kind of an interesting moral decision. Not just light side, dark side, but that's kind of an interesting scenario that they wrote, Bite-sized, finish, walk away. And that charges me up, It's like The Witcher 3 in some cases, wow, that's a cool little side quest. And it's got a little plot that resolves. That, Witcher 3 is maybe not the best comparison because that's probably the best side quest writing in gaming is in The Witcher 3. But, some of these stories are great. And it's been such a pleasure to continue to come back to this game when there's something new to see and to go, it kind of feels like home in a way. So I think that's all I have to say on this. Tell me if I forgot anything super duper obvious, but the ability to treat it like a single player game, the way that I don't need a subscription, and the just sprawling, vast, connected galaxy of stories is super awesome. And if you enjoyed this video, I'm going to thank you very, very much. I don't even know how long I've been recording. Almost 25 minutes, 26 minutes. So thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. Remember, the right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. Let me know what other games that you saw on my Steam that you'd like me to talk about. Or maybe I should talk about Switch 2 games. Let me know. And I will make another one if anyone watches this. Till next time.